What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here with Jake.
Back in the booth.
Back in the booth. We've got some top 8 action. We got Boros Energy, who's being piloted by Way, against Dimir Frogulus, and that it would be piloted by Josh. So this is going to be a fun one. Thank you all so much for watching, hanging out with us today. If you're watching live, we appreciate you. You're the real MVPs. But if you're watching after the fact on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and of course subscribe so you don't miss out on content like this. And of course, hit up ImpactGamingCenter.gg for all your Magic the Gathering, TCG, and other tabletop gaming needs. Jake, this is a pretty... I would say these are two pillars of the format. Obviously, Dimir Frogtide has kind of turned into Dimir Frogulus.
Frog Eye? I would call Frog Eye.
But, oh, I like that. Regardless, though, these are two pillars of the format. Who is advantaged typically?
So I know, from what I know, Boros Energy usually has the slight advantage in this matchup, but over time, I think the Eye has really helped Dimir Frog become, a real competitor versus Boros Energy because it's a big body that puts two things on the battlefield.
Yeah.
So,
we're not playing Eye here, are we? Let me double check.
Is he on Eye?
I don't think he is. Oh, he is. He totally is. Yeah. I am a cotton-headed Ninny Muggins, and I apologize to everyone who's listening.
So he is on Dimir Frog Eye. So, these are the two pillars of the format. This is decks 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure that Boros is slightly favored in this. Who was the high seed here?
Whoever played first?
I think that's Way.
I think it was Way.
So,
let us know in chat.
I'm pretty sure it was Way it would have been Josh because he has 2 lands out. Yeah. So Josh was the higher seed.
Oh, well, there you go.
Way on the draw this game, which isn't, the end of the world. Boros Energy obviously wants to be on the play most of the time, but, the extra card versus a control deck can really help out. These blue-black decks are I think they're more tuned now to beat the energy matchups just because Boros Energy is so popular. It's probably a quarter of the meta
it's
now.
A huge... We looked it up last round, so in the last video, if you're watching on YouTube, 25% of the meta, according to MTG Goldfish, which is an incredible amount. Is it ban-worthy? I'm not calling for bans. Hey, listen, if you're watching, I'm not calling for bans. But do you think it having such high,
play percentage,
like 25%, is especially for a format like Modern, where
I agree. I think it's really high, but I think the main thing that Energy has it's a hyper efficient aggro deck that plays the One Ring so well, and I think to me, if you get rid of the One Ring, then these hyper efficient aggro decks that get to play this 1 mana card hyper advantage. Get to explode. Alex here's grabbing some food really quick, so it's just going to be me. But Way's playing 2, playing an Amped Raptor. We'll see what happens here with Josh. Amped Raptor is battlefield. Get 2 energy. Josh says it resolves, I assume. That's how we're getting this energy counter. 2 energy, and let's go cascading. First card is a Galvanic Discharge. Way is going to, I assume, cast it. So we're going to go to 1 energy, target the Amped Raptor. No responses. Going to gain 3 energy. So, because you determine how much energy is put into the Amped Raptor upon the time of the spell resolution, or put into the Galvanic Discharge. So, you don't decide that before the spell resolves, or you don't decide that when the spell targets, it's as the spell resolves. But Josh is going to kill the Ampter in response, get that 2/1 body off the battlefield. Way is tapped out this turn, so Josh gets a fetch land and an untap. Maybe we'll see a frog, and maybe we'll see a setup for an eye or something. I don't know what we got going on. So we're going to draw for turn. It looks like he did draw the frog. I'm going to grab his deck list really quick. So, he's playing like the normal 1 mana interaction spells. So he could play the frog, hold up a blue-black source, and that could be considered push, spell snare, spell pierce. He's playing 2 Tameo. So, there's a lot of like 1 mana plays they could tap out for, but we're just going to we're just going to exile everything and play a big old Murktide. I think he's only like a 4/4 or a 5/5. It's a 4/4 Murky, so he's not that big of a Murktide. But I mean, he's going to be the biggest field thing on the battlefield for a minute. But I think Wei has a
All right.
static prism.
We
Alex
back.
is back.
Hey, listen. You're never too old for your mom to bring you food at work.
I respect that. That is a true statement. Wei's going to static prism Murktide, so we're not going to deal with that for a second here. Wei's got a bunch of energy in the reserve because he was able to get that galvanic discharge off the Amp Raptor to get a bunch of energy. A Johnny here going to make a dude.
A dude.
2/1 kitty cat. And we're going to ship the turnover. Josh is going to untap and draw.
So where are we at?
So Wei
What's
played
happening?
in a
Catch
Johnny.
I see that. Barely, but I do see it. Is it
Josh
foil
gonna-
or something? Why is it so dark?
I think it's a foil.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Josh is
Frog.
going to outlaw or shoot the sheriff, kill the Johnny.
Is that like
the
something
frog.
that this deck? Because I saw him do that earlier.
So
I was just like
I-
watching, and that's insane. I mean, it
We'll
makes
shoot the
sense.
sheriff.
Is that a modern
So
card now, or is this something that
so
is
it's-
off meta?
It in the realm of 2-mana
Kill a
Doom
thing?
Blades.
Yeah.
You don't play Doom Blade. There's too many black creatures. That can
Sure.
matter. You're not go for the throat's not the worst, but the times where an artifact creature might matter is pretty important.
Right.
Then what's the least that matters? We'll shoot the sheriff. I don't think there are that many outlaw creatures, which
What
I
even
don't
is
even
an
remember.
outlaw?
I believe it is
Let's look it up.
mercenary, rogue, warlock,
There we go.
pirates, and assassins.
We have it on screen. There's shoot the sheriff.
So-
I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy. Sultry,
What a
sultry singing. So assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks.
are all outlaws. Everyone else is fair game. What a
That is such an epic. I love that. That is so sick. Everyone else is fair game, brother, partner. Love it.
So the frog got killed here by the flage.
Unfortunate for Josh.
Poor Mr. Frog. And that's just one of the power of these Boros energy decks where most of the times these blue-black decks would be pretty efficient at fighting these mid-range matchups. But cards like Flage just rip counterspells and all that sort of stuff out of your hand because you have to respect the Flage. You can't just let the Flage resolve. Blue-black not having, a lot of exile-based removal. Sometimes they do play a few Cling to Dust.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I saw that on Josh's list. I know it's been
Let's look. We have
I know it's
it.
been popping up more than normal.
Cling to Dust. Great card. I'm glad people are playing it. It's incredible in Pioneer.
I think that card is incredible. Period. A 1-mana graveyard interaction spell that can replace itself. You can cast multiple times.
And it gains life,
Gains life. It's so versatile. But I think we're gonna get Flage is gonna get countered.
Dimir traditionally doesn't gain a lot of life, so it's actually sneakily really good at gaining life.
Imagine a 1-mana black card that gains 3 life, and then that does other stuff, and white cards are just 1 white mana gain 3 life.
Right. You talking about Healing Soul?
Yeah,
The best of the
the best
1
of
mana,
the
3.
the old 1-mana color does 3 thing.
Yes.
So we're gonna unearth target frog.
All right.
Comes
Josh
the froggy
is-
boy.
Josh is still fighting here.
What a wild time that unearth. Unearth is that card that wanes and grows in the format where sometimes
Yeah,
a bunch
that's
of people
true.
play it and then sometimes no one plays it.
Yep. Bolt your frog. Josh has how many cards in hand? He could
He
start.
has 1. I don't
Okay,
think
so-
he has enough to quite pump the frog out of bull range.
Yeah.
But sometimes, with all these Boros energy decks, you have to just put point removal spell, damage-based removal spells to the frog. Oh, no, we're just going to counter the bolts.
Yeah, I mean, this makes sense from a standpoint. Josh has to start.
We just got to start blocking this Ocelot Pride.
He's got to start putting something together on his side.
And next turn, he can jump the frog. I don't know if you jump the frog as much as you're just leaving him back as a blocker, but I think you also have to respect that you could draw Eye at some point, and you need the 6. If
Yeah.
you're going to hard cast it, you got to have the
So-
6 cards in graveyard stick to exile for it.
So that's something I'm curious about. Do you think, and this sounds crazy, is Murktide Region just not playable because of Oculus now?
I don't think so.
Because Oculus is like, in my opinion, just a better card.
I know that I've seen some of these decks online switch away from Consider to Thought Scour.
Ooh, that's true. So one of our commenters here says forgot the 2 cats from the City's Blessing. So,
Players are allowed to make mistakes.
Yes,
We are not.
Yeah, we're not. Obviously, we're not going to. Oh my gosh, he missed the trigger.
If
Like,
this was an FNM, that'd be one thing. Oh my gosh, there's a Blood Moon.
Oh.
Josh here with just the basic island, so he is capped out on black. He's not going to be able to make any more.
Does he have a swamp even? Wow, no swamp.
Yeah, these
That's insane to me.
these decks are so reliant on specifically blue pips that
They can't even afford
they
to
can't
play
even
a
afford to
swamp.
play a basic swamp. Because if
That's
you
insane.
think of the hand you drew like Watery Grave Swamp and you have 2 counterspells. You can't keep that hand. You have to ship that back.
I mean, I get it, but
It's-
I was always of the mindset you play one of every basic.
One of every
Just
basic
in general.
that you could produce.
Yes.
And I'm in that camp too. I agree. So Josh looks like he's going to jump the frog here. And I think this is where we see the new, like some of these new iterations on this deck playing Thought Scour. Because
Hey, thanks, Lord Alvon. Hey, what's up, Alvon? How's it going? Welcome on in. That's Hanlon. Steven?
Oh,
Yeah.
Steven, what's up, dude?
Yeah. How's it going? Yeah, I know that screen name from him coming in on my Twitch streams. That's awesome.
Solid guy. Not here to play any blue decks today, though. Steven.
Yeah, where you at? You're supposed to be crushing this with Just Got Control. We need some control representation in this top 8.
No, this top 8's pretty heavy
right.
on the Boros, but we're going to scoop it all up. here.
There are 3 Boros energy decks. So that'll do it here. We're going to take game number 1. Pretty convincing fashion.
Yeah, and this is the time where Dimir Frog is so good versus so much of the other meta, especially the Tron decks. But it really lacks on fighting Boros. But I think I bet there's things in the sideboard to help this matchup. What does he got?
So Josh has 3 consigned to memory, 1 Force of Negation, 1 Harbinger of the Seas, 2 Break the Ice, 2 Toxic Deluge, 1 Glistening Deluge.
That's a looker. I don't know.
Yeah, 2 Thought Seize, 1 Surgical, 1 Nile Spellbomb, and 1 Ghost Vacuum.
Yeah, so Ghost Vacuum.
What?
Ghost Vacuum.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, this is a sick. This is a new 1-mana artifact that came out in Duskmourn that people have been playing a lot more.
Exile a card. Okay, so it's
a
like
1-mana.
little duder guy. Yep. And sacrifice it. Here, I'm gonna change
Push
this
it on
so
the
y'all can
screen,
see.
and it's a graveyard hate piece that at some point in the game is going to make a bunch of dudes. While it's not as efficient,
Battlefield under your control.
while it's not as efficient as a lot of the other graveyard hate, I mean, now that Urza Saga's proven that any 1-mana artifact can be just good enough.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. I like that.
Way over here has the Gigantha, 1/1 ring, 2 Thraben Charms, 1 Reprieve, 1 Orm's Chant, 1 Deafening Silence, 1 Fear Fire Foes, 1 End the Festivities, 4 Obsidian Charmon, 2 Damping Spheres. Probably see the Prive come in. It's really good versus Murktide. It's really good versus the Eyeball. Then we have Orm's Chant, which says you can't play spells. Then Deafening Silence, probably not Deafening Silence, but probably the extra 1 ring to help keep up with card advantage. We're going to push Glistening Deluge off onto the screen for y'all to see. This was a standard card for a while. It's your generic black creatures get minus something that we see most sets. This one specifically targets green and white creatures, which is really good versus Boros Energy because all of your red dudes other than Flage are 1-butts.
Yeah.
And it kills all the white creatures because they theoretically get -3/-3. So
This is coming in for sure.
Yeah, anything you're going to kill with this Deluge is going to get wiped off the board. Was he playing Toxic Deluge at all?
No.
So no Deluges anywhere.
Well, he's got Glistening Deluge.
Oh, well.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's got 2 Toxic Deluge.
Okay, he's got 2 Toxic.
I'm tripping. Jabroni. Yeah, I like both delusions. I like in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep dudes off the field, and then hope that you can resolve one of your big flyers. I think the power of Boros Energy. One of the things they do is a lot of their removal is just straight exile based. There's like they
Yeah.
have bolt and they have discharge, but discharge is almost like doesn't matter because as long as you have like 5 energy reserve, it's hard to save creatures because your opponent can be like, you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna put all this stuff into saving this guy, and your opponent's like, cool, I'll gain 3 energy, and you're like,
Cool story, bro.
you're basically
You're dead
even on
still.
cards, but you lost your protection spells.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we are off to the races.
Josh with the fetch. What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get a surveil? Nope, we're getting a basic island, and are we getting a Tameo out here or a cantrip? Those are the few things that Josh has in his. I took a peek while you were grabbing food, and yep, there is the Tameo.
Cool.
Only 2 of. Not a lot of these decks aren't playing the full 4, but I don't think it's one of those cards where if it's in your hand and you have a hand that helps it, it's great.
Oh, okay.
It also blocks this Ocelot Pride for literally days.
Literally, not figuratively.
Tameo is a 0-3. It can't kill it, but it can stay in the way of it.
What's with all the blue flip planeswalkers not having any power?
Jace is a
Jace?
nerd. Tameo's a nerd.
Fair. Okay.
Y'all blue nerds need to go to the gym.
Right?
Tameo's going to swing in here and make a clue. Imagine that card said had to deal damage. It just doesn't do it.
Oh, yeah. That'd be probably bad.
But Josh is just going to get here and make the clue. Well, he has a fatal push in hand. Or Josh has a fatal push in hand out of the way. So I don't think this Ocelot Pride is super bound for the world. So we're going to fetch. We're going to have to shock here because
He doesn't have any basics.
there are no swamps. just water graves. Not that I think Josh would probably. Oh my gosh, there's the basic swamp. You liar. It's right there.
Hold on. Oh my gosh, it was literally the last card on the list. Look what Hanlon said. Already won, thought I'd let other people get a chance.
Steve.
Nice.
Won't let me live down beating me on death and taxes. Josh already drew a Pluto Delta.
All right, Josh, if you're watching this after the fact, I'm sorry. I take it all back. Good man.
I know, but not all of them play the basic swamp.
That's actually incredibly crazy to me. Like,
I think
how
this is one of those games where Josh is really happy because he was able to 1 mana interact with the Ocelot Pride and counterspell the Amped Raptor for 1 mana. Like when you get those hands that's like 1 mana interaction spell to like Spell Snare. Spell Snare feels so good right now.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Spell Snare is nuts in the meta.
Cards are good.
It's probably the best it's ever been. And Spell Snare's been in the format
There
for
was a time, I forget, it was either right before, right after, or during Hogak where Spell Snare was insanely good.
because it countered the Carrion Feeder or whatever.
I don't really remember exactly what it was, but it was real good. And everybody was playing like 2 of them in their Azorius control decks.
Whatever creature aggro deck is the best deck in the format, Spell Snare is better. But when there's not, it's not doing anything.
All right, here is a Johnny.
Make another kitty. All kitties, all the time.
I like this Boros Energy deck only because it plays exclusively cats.
And there's Shoot the Sheriff. A Johnny is
Pew pew.
an honest guy, so he's not a outlaw, mercenary, warlock, or rogue.
Do we have updates? So I don't have updates, but I do have a list of all of the other top 8 competitors. So I'll be able to tell you that here in just a moment.
Need this cool new overhead camera system you were talking about. So Tammy's going to swing in. Oh, no, we're surveilling. Not yet. So
All right.
tap, draw.
So here's the top 8 in order. Rank 1, CJ Vogue. Rank 2, Cruz Campworth. 3 is Ryan Neuendijk. 4 is Josh Cook. 5 is Way. 6 is Ben. 7 is Joseph. And then 8, squeaking in with the best breakers of the 9s, is Paul Richards. So Shout out to our top 8.
Attaboy.
4. There's 4
Boros Energy.
Boros energy decks, yeah. Tron, Affinity, and I don't know what Joseph's playing. Yeah, Paul snuck in, and he was on camera. I think he lost on camera earlier.
He did to CJ.
Yeah. So, CJ's been on camera 3 times today. So
He's in that bracket where he can't quite draw,
yeah,
but
if you
he's
win
still
out,
in the top. He's in the top echelon of players in this match, or in the tournament. So
well, he was the top seed.
Are we gonna double crack clues here to flip Tamio? I think we are. So if Tamio will flip.
Little Flipski. What in the world does this Tamio do?
So the main card is Tamio Inquisitive Students, Tamio. Nope, it's YIO, I think it is. You can try YIYO.
There we go.
It's one of the two. Inquisitive Student, and the backside, Tamio Seasoned Scholar.
But what does it do? Here's what it does.
Until your next turn, whenever a creature attacks you or Planeswalker control gets -1/-0 until end of turn, return target instant sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. If it's a green card, add 1 mana of any color.
Ooh.
And then draw cards equal to half the number of cards in your library, rounded up. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size. But it doesn't look like Tamio is long.
Just like that.
It got flaged because the Johnny Cat's a 2/1 and only would make it a 1/1. Tamio is one of those cards where if you don't deal with it the turn it flips,
It's a good day.
it's so hard to interact with because it gets massive. It's a 2 that goes to a 4, 6, 8, and then what's an 8? It can ult, and it sticks around.
Yeah, I love.
It's a -7.
I love planeswalkers that can ult and stay around.
Oh, there's our ghost.
There we go.
Ghost vacuum.
Here's our new card, says
Exile
Josh.
the Flage. And what's really cool is when you get a spirit version of Flage, but the spirit dies because it wasn't escaped. That's how That's how the Titans read, and that's how Ghost Vacuum works. You get a
Unlucky.
You get a 1/1 copy of every creature you exiled with it. Oh, here's Murky.
Murktide.
But I think here's that weakness of playing that basic swamp where you get to play this Murktide, but you can't leave up a blue-black source to either push or spell snare. So that basic swamp might become. I don't know. I kind of doubt it, but
Yeah.
basics suck.
Well, unless you're in the face of a blood moon, but
Oh, it's the one time or back to basics or whatever. Murktide's a 6/6. What is Way? Way has a.
I want back to basics to be legal in Modern. Wizards, make it happen. Make it happen.
I think Way might have a static orb. Yep, he does.
Static Prison.
Static Prism. Static Orb, Static Prism, all these electric white cards. Let's see if Josh has a Force Negation.
He does
Nope,
not.
does not. Murktide goes to the Exile Zone.
Yeah, I mean, Way kind of eating his lunch here, right?
Static Prism is an absurd card.
It's 1 mana O-Ring. Of course.
If it just hit creatures, I'd be like, okay, this is fine. But it hits every...
Johnny.
I'm back. Here's another cat, another 2/1.
Johnny, another
That's
card.
The guy who plays the deck with main deck Blood Moon.
Johnny is another card.
I don't play Blood Moon. I'm playing Death and Taxes. I'm playing Megas of the Moon.
Oh, yeah,
It's the
okay.
Sideboard.
Fatal Push going to take down the Ajani. I was going to say, Ajani's another one of these planeswalkers where if it flips, it's bad news bears for the opponent.
Oh, that card is wild.
Sometimes you just get to one-shot them.
I feel like it has the best 0 build. It has like one of the best abilities, but it's the fact that it's only a 0 kind of keeps it in check a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, remember Gideon, ally of Zendikar? That 0 ability, that was like the best card in Standard for the longest
That was
time.
like the best card in Magic for what felt like a year. And then they printed the Wandering Emperor, and it's like, who wants to play Gideon?
I think Gideon kind of fell off well before Wandering.
Oh, it did 100%. Every so often, they print a 4-mana white planeswalker, and everyone's like, "This is the best card ever," and it just like dominates standard for
Yeah.
the whole time. It's
I mean, Wandering Emperor's great in Pioneer.
Well, was it the original Elspeth?
I hear it's pretty good in your favorite format, Commander, too. So
I don't like Commander.
I actually don't know if it's good. It's probably not good into Commander, I'd imagine.
I think Gideon's probably the best because
What the best?
He gets an
white.
I mean, no, the like best of like the 4. I mean, there's the Archangel Elspeth, which is really good in standard right now.
Yeah.
4-mana white planeswalkers are just like the cookie cutter, like best.
4-mana
I think
planeswalkers.
we're debating on how many Ocelot Pride Cats. Ocelot.
It's 2 triggers, so it exponentially grows.
It's
4 triggers from 2 sources, actually, or 2 triggers.
holy cow! So many kitties.
Does he have the City's Blessing?
Yeah, he does. It's right there in the left corner.
Oh, that's what that is.
Josh Drew would consider if Josh doesn't have Josh needs to find that glistening oil or a toxic deluge because these kitty cats are taking this game over.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Wei is pretty much in control of this game. Do we have an all his dust? Because it's going to be rough.
Cats are dust. 4 mana. But he's like, I'm tapped out. I have everything on the table. It is your turn, Josh. You figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, right?
So we're drawing Cling the Dust, which.
Does that save him a turn?
So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 power on the board. There's a Cling.
So game 3 will take him to 14.
So we're getting life. Do you get rid of the squeaky mouse?
Yeah.
You can put 15, maybe 14. There you go. And here's a blocker.
All right.
So we're not.
Is this a short-term fix, though, I think? Yeah.
I definitely don't think that's I mean, it sucks that Josh didn't hit. It sucks for Josh that he didn't hit a board wipe or something, but Murktide is only a 5/5, but it still gets eaten by another Static Prism, or it'll live through the. So let's say that Wei draws a Galvanic Discharge, then he can kill one Murktide, but then Josh will get back the one that's under the Prism. Not that it really matters, because the 3/3 is going to kill whatever Wei swings in with it anyways. But,
yeah.
And right now, if I'm Wei, I don't think I'm like that concerned with my life total. There's another top 8 finisher behind Josh, CJ Vogue. Hanging out, watching the match. And here we go. All my friends turn sideways. Murktide. What is Murktide going to eat here? I think we forgot to remove an energy from the Static Prism, but...
Oh, well, there you go.
There we go. There's
a counterspell. That's going to be it. Wei going to take it and head on to the semifinals. Josh's tournament will end. They did not split either, so that will be it for this round.
Josh gets a crisp, was it 75?
Yeah,
Top 4.
I don't pay attention to the money.
You're here to talk.
I'm here to talk, baby. Thank you all so much. And speaking of talking, that's what I'm about to do. Thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon and set it to all. And if you're watching on Twitch, we appreciate you, all the real MVPs. Make sure to follow. And if you're watching in general, just hit up ImpactGamingCenter.gg for all your Magic the Gathering and TCG needs.
Don't go far.
Yeah, don't go far if you're watching live, because we got next round will be up momentarily. We appreciate you. Stay tuned. Enjoy this ad break. Go get some popcorn. We got more Magic coming your way.
We'll be back. We got more things to do, more games to play.
Absolutely. Catch y'all on the flippy flop. Adios.